So the BIPOC grants overview. So who is eligible for BIPOC grants? So it's Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And our BIPOC grants are designed to help BIPOC-led, BIPOC-serving organizations, as well as any organization that is applying for a BIPOC grant needs to be in good standing with the Edmonton Community Foundation. And so that means you should have submitted reports for any previous BIPOC or other ECF grants. So we shouldn't be having to chase you for other grants or other reports before you get this report, before you get this application in. Your organization also needs to be based in and serve the Greater Edmonton Area or Treaty 6 territory if you are an Indigenous serving organization. Also, you must be registered as a Canadian charity, or if that's not your case, work with a Canadian charity if you are a not-for-profit organization. And we'll be going into that specific question and details in a little bit. All right. So what is the grants overview and what can it be used for? So this is where we want to introduce what is possible, what is made possible through the BIPOC grants. And what is made possible? Expanding existing programming, experimenting with new and innovative programming for your organization, improving organizational capacity, purchasing equipment. It could be you might have some renovations that you need to have done, engaging and empowering BIPOC communities. And the caveat is that these activities have to start after September the 1st of 2025. Because we don't fund any retroactive funding, and the decisions for this won't happen until August, which I'll get to. So some examples, again, what is made possible through BIPOC grants? Salaries, program materials, program equipment, promotion, administration, accessibility considerations, space, consultant fees, professional development, organizational assessments, technology, community-based research, events, caveat, event purchases, and renovations. All right. So the caveat with events is that it can't be, events are very popular. And if we were to grant all of the event requests that we had, we would probably only be funding events. That's a really possible scenario, and we don't want to be in that scenario. So if you are having an event, it would be just something that is unique to that year, not an annual thing that your organization does every year, but something that might be unique for that and how and why it's empowering and engaging BIPOC communities. Okay. So some examples of granting overall, and what are the types of programs that we're hoping to fund in this round. So the next two examples aren't actually BIPOC funded, but they were funded through ECF funding, which is in the thread and the spirit of what we're trying to do with this grant. So here's one from Yona. With help from a $15,000 ECF grant, Yona Sistema hired Planet Sound to create a time capsule video to mark a decade of Yona Sistema in 2023. I cried when I saw the video, McNulty says. It really helped us tell the Yona Sistema story and show people how multifaceted our program is and how it's impacting our students. Okay, so for example, this is an example of what a grant could be used for. Another example is from Kostas Koukouzikis. Sorry about that. No matter the color of our skin, no matter our background, no matter our culture, we all experience life, death, love, childhood, family. Receiving a $10,000 grant from ECF wasn't only a financial boon to the organization, it served as validation that we were on the right track when they produced 4 dances of the world. Okay, so this is an example. Again, this is a partnership. It was a great dance production that was put on by 4 different organizations that partnered together to bring dance and life to the world. So these are examples of activities that we are hoping to fund through this BIPOC grant. One of the things we also want to talk about, obviously, are grant limitations. What can you not apply for? So it's not available to have deficit funding or retroactive funding It can't be used for medical equipment or to replace government cuts. Not available for travel outside the Edmonton area, or capital campaigns or purchase of land and or buildings. Can't be used for private and charter schools, including their foundations, third-party fundraisers, primarily benefiting individuals like scholarships, any fundraising events or annual fundraising appeals, or religious participation requirement. If you do have a service, there can't be a religious participation requirement to that. As well, national or provincial initiatives without specific benefit to Edmonton. Definitely our bias is helping it to support Edmonton-based, Edmonton-founded, Edmonton-serving charities rather than national or even provincial initiatives. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. If you are belonging to a national or provincial initiative, ensure that you do have the impact locally of what's happening locally, both from the funding as well as the participant side of your BIPOC grant. So how much is available? This year, we have $750,000 available in BIPOC grants. And this will be the only time, there will be only one time that BIPOC grants will be open in 2025. We are undergoing a change for 2026. So with my position, I just started in February. One of my priorities this year is to look at equity advancement grants for the future. So for sure this year, this will be the one time that we are having BIPOC grants available under this stream. We do have other funding streams that will come available in the fall, but for now, it's $750,000 available in 2025. There are two streams which are eligible for people to apply to. One is a stream of up to $50,000. And we're looking at, again, 5 to 10 projects, depending on the pool. And we're looking specifically at charities, mostly for this particular stream. Another stream that we have, again, depending on the math and the applicant pool, we're looking to fund between 10 to 20 projects, and this is for funding up to $25,000. Okay, so this is for nonprofit organizations or grassroots organizations applying in partnership with a charity. So still, the people that press the submit button in our portal has to be a charity, but you can apply in partnership with a charity. All right. One thing about partnerships. Organizations can submit one application for BIPOC grants. Okay, so all organizations can submit one on behalf of themselves for BIPOC grants. If you are, as a charity, however, you can also submit multiple applications as the partner charity for the nonprofit organization. So if you, this is an example of if you do not have charitable status and you approach a charity partner, that charity partner can apply for one BIPOC grant for themselves and apply on your behalf to be your charity partner for another BIPOC application. All right. So I'm going to send it now to Cassandra. So Cassandra, feel free to take my screen. So we're going to go through the actual application of how to apply.
Only leaving me both screens.
I see your screen.
Oh, and I see your screen.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Here, let me do this. Does that help?
Okay, do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Great.
Perfect.
Thanks everyone for your patience. I'm going to walk you through our online portal. Every application that we have through the Edmonton Community Foundation is all done through the online portal. We use Smart Simple, so the website is ecf.smartsimple.ca. If you are new to the system, there is a button here where you can log in to register. I'll briefly just show you what that looks like. The system is currently set up with the Canada Revenue Agency charity listings. So as an organization, we are required that we grant registered charities. So our online system is set up only for registered charities. So if you are partnering with a registered charity, they would be the applicant, which means they're going into the system and completing the form, and they can work in partnership with non-charities to do that. So you would be going in as an organization to look up your charitable status if you're not already registered. There's a couple of questions, and then it sends you to an organizational search. Do follow the cues and prompts up top because you can't enter everything specifically or it won't work. So for example, I wouldn't look up Edmonton Community Foundation, but I could look up Community Foundation. And then in the city, I would put Edmonton. You might put jazz and then search, it's going to show everything that was already registered, and then would click on it and continue. So you could select the Greater Edmonton Chinese Community Foundation. It does pull all of your information from CRA into the address section, and then you complete the rest of the section. Because I'm already registered, I won't continue going that way. We'll go back to the main page. And I will show you what the online system looks like when you log in. If you've forgotten your password, you can just click down below. It will send an email to the online system. If you're having any technical difficulties, you can contact our grants department and we'll work with you to figure that out. So in the system, you'll see the list of different grant programs that we have currently available. And then we have the BIPOC grants that shows you the deadline date. You would then click on the Apply Now button. If you'd already opened the online application, you would definitely see it sitting in here under Draft Applications. When you open the online application, this is what it looks like. The first thing you want to do is hit Save Draft. Once you hit Save Draft, it then opens all of the questions and brings your contact information into the system. You can also, if you are partnering with somebody, so whether that's a partner that you have inside your organization that you want to help complete the online application, you can invite them to the application. You can also invite non-qualified donees. So if you are partnering with an organization, you can invite them to the application. The way that the system is set up is that the online application has to be submitted by the partner charity. So if you invite collaborators, it'll give you little invite buttons where you hit add. You can invite as many people to the system as you like. They do have to be the registered charity in order for the application to be submitted. As you go through, there's some information that Sherilyn has talked about today on the application information, what's eligibility, the timelines, and then some required questions here. And then as you go through the online application, it is form filled. The amount that you request here will populate into the budget field. So if you do need to change that, you can kind of go through it. It has some date questions, some drop down menus, and some fill in the blanks. Most of the questions, if they're asterisk, they're all required. So they do need to be completed in order for the online application to be submitted as you go through. We also have a budget page. Here is where you would click the budget section and a pop-up window is going to open. As you go through the online application and fill out different information, you can add different columns in here and different revenues. Could be from Edmonton Arts Council, for instance. And 25. So I'm going to hit save here. It's only going to show the 25. Now, ECF grant request is already up here, but because I didn't fill out this field yet, and then hit save draft, it wouldn't have populated onto the budget. So now that I've done that, if I open the budget again, ECF grant request is already in here. The system is set up that the budget does have to be balanced, so making sure that your revenues and your expenses are lined up and completely balanced, or it won't let you submit You can write as much detailed information as you need to. If you need to expand your budget sections to see your writing, you can pull down these three little bars. Do add as much detail as you can. We are looking for details about breakdowns, whether it's salaries, it might be $15 an hour. Let's try $20 an hour for 52 weeks. And then a dollar figure in here, which I'm just going to make up. So that's kind of the online application. On their organizational information, there is some attachments as well. And then you would hit submit. I can't hit submit because right now it's not going to let me do it because I don't have a number of forms filled out. But there's the online application. There is a timeline that we do have until noon on June 20th. After noon, the application won't allow you to submit. So we do ask that you work on it ahead of time. You can also find all of the questions and guidelines available on our website, so you can also see all those questions outside of the online system. I will stop sharing.
Great, thank you, Cassandra. Appreciate that. I haven't seen any questions come in the chat just yet. So again, feel free to put in the chat if you do have any questions. The grants team are all really lovely people as well, and happy to walk you through the grant applications online portal. It's the same portal you've been using if you have applied with ECF before, so it's nothing new for anybody that has already applied through ECF. Nothing has changed this year except for a number of the questions, all right? So, okay. This current share. Okay. Again, appreciate your patience with me. We're almost done here to get to the question and answer. And you may notice all of us have different backgrounds because our offices are undergoing renovations at the moment. So we're all working from home. But anyways, back to the BIPOC grant timeline. So it has been open as of last week, May 20th at noon. So we'd like to do things again at noon. So that's also a reminder for any other grants that you're applying through ECF. Noon is the timeline to open and close our applications generally. So June 20th, again, at noon, the applications will be closed. So for your information as well, in July, we are meeting with a grant committee review. An external grant committee will be looking through the applications. So we have roughly 6 to 7 people from outside of ECF who will be reviewing the applications and making decisions and recommendations. And then in August, there will be announcements as well. The grants will be issued. And so the money will hopefully flow out by August for, again, activities that start after September the 1st. Yeah?
Carolyn, I don't see your screen.
Oh, awesome.
If you're presenting.
Thank you.
I just see you.
You just see me. Okay, well, I'm not that exciting. Awesome. Okay, let me see if I can fix this. Thank you for letting me know. Well, to be honest with you, we can also just chat.
Says she sees the screen, so maybe I'm not.
People see the screen? Okay, people see the screen. Awesome. So let me just get here then. If other people see the screen, great. Now reporting specifically. For reporting, the form is available, will be available in November. So the grants will be decided in August. We have 3 months, so it will be available in the report form for the BIPOC grants will be available to everybody that received a BIPOC grant in November. And we are toying with this right now, right? We have been doing written reports, potentially an interview or potentially a video submission. So that is still to be decided, but we are looking at experimenting a little bit with this round of BIPOC applications to see what would be the best and most useful way that we could be moving forward for reporting. And again, must be submitted prior to applying for any future BIPOC grants. All right. Now we have that's taking us to the end of the presentation. So I'm going to open it up to any questions that people might have. I can stop my share screen and stop share and then go on to gallery. So if anybody would like to, if anybody has any questions, we are here to answer them. That was a very short, very brief overview. All of the information is on our website. We also have the handbook information guide on how to apply and the ins and outs of the BIPOC grant. But if you have any questions right now, we would just love to have that, open that up.
There's a
Okay,
question in the chat about
sure.
collectives or individuals to partner with charities. And are they eligible? Or can it only
Yeah.
happen between a non-charity?
So that's a great question, Impoe. I believe that would be up to the individual charity that you are working with. Okay. So if the charity, if that can work, again, up to the individual charity for how that could work internally on their side. On our side, it would just have to be like a charity that we are giving the money to, that they are responsible for, like the fiduciary responsibility of that charity. So if you can work with that, that'd be great. Awesome. Okay, if our organization's okay, let me see if I can pop that out. Okay. If our organization's project has received funding from ECF for a particular project before, are we able to apply for funding to sustain or scale that program, or are you only looking for new to ECF projects? Great question. Cassandra, do you have my thinking is that like I'm gonna say something, and again, we appreciate your patience with this. It wouldn't be funding the same project, but if it's looking at expanding and if there's something significantly different, you'll have to write that out. It will also depend on the what the committee deems. It says it's the committee's decision at the end of the day. So you'll have to convince the committee why the same project would need funding if it's already received funding before. But so that's just something to keep in mind when you're applying. If you have anything to add to that, Cassandra, or Dave, I also see you. So
No, I think that aligns with how I think the committee is going to think about it.
okay, great. Okay, my organization is BIPOC led and has about 70% BIPOC staff. If we want to run a program for employee wellness, will we be eligible to receive funding, or does the program have to benefit only BIPOC employees? Nope, it's BIPOC led or BIPOC serving. Definitely professional development is included with that, so I don't see a problem. You would be eligible for that program. TO, whoever TO is. Teresa, lovely, thank you. We currently have a BIPOC grant. The report is due June 30th. How will this impact our application? Great question. Thank you very much. So if the report, are still in quote unquote good standing with us because you don't have anything due. Definitely have the report in before June 30th. You can still submit this application for this project. It will not hinder you're still eligible. Maybe the grant committee or can see that you have submitted your report, but it will not impact this application. So just as long as you maintain good standing, right? If you have an application if you have a report that's outstanding since January, February, March, or April of this year, or May, definitely get that in before you apply. Yeah. Out of curiosity, could you raise your hand if you are from a non-profit organization that does not yet have charity status? Just so that I have a clue, if you can either raise your hand or give me a thumbs up with your emoji. Just note if you are with a not-for-profit or an organization that does not have charity status. Okay, one at least.
There's another question in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Besides the criteria that a charity can submit an application for themselves and one on behalf of a partner, is there a cap on the number of applications submitted by the partner charities?
And Cassandra, we said no.
There isn't a cap. It's really up to partner charities to decide what their capacity is to support that. It does become their charitable activity. The one caveat is that the online system is set up so that it only allows the organization to apply once. So the charitable partner needs to contact our grants team to get more applications set up. So it is possible for us to do it. We just have to do it on our end to ensure that people aren't opening multiple applications for different grant streams.
Great, thank you.
And if your organization isn't showing up in our granting portal because it's new, there is a time delay in syncing between the CRA portal. So just contact our grants team. Again, that's grants@ecf.ca, and we can manually set up the organization in our system.
And I think I'll ask this one and with my voice instead of typing it because it might take a while. I just wanted to get a yes or no clarification around the part where you mentioned that private or charter schools cannot, I forgot the wording, but public schools like are able to be partners in a way, like we can, yeah, is that a thing? Great. I see Cassandra nodding. Okay, lovely.
Yeah, public schools are, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Carolyn, there's
Vanessa
another.
wrote, is there a timeline for when projects need to be completed? Can they be multi-year? For this particular granting stream, it can't, you will be getting the money once, correct, Cassandra? Like this, so it's up to you if you want to make it multi-year, but it's a one-time payment from us out to you.
Yeah, so as long as you fall within the eligibility amount that you can apply for, if you spread that out over 2 years, that's up to you. But the amount you can't apply to have multi-year support through the grant program because it's going to look different next year.
All right. I was thinking there was going to be a lot more questions, so I appreciate that you guys are letting us off easy. Are we able to meet with a program coordinator to review our grants, or is there no capacity for this at the time? So Impoe, do you want to come off and ask about that specifically? Or Cassandra, maybe you can see what has happened previously with other granting programs?
Yeah, I would say there's an opportunity to connect with someone to discuss your application. Alternatively, if you've already kind of opened an application or you're working through it and have a draft application that you want reviewed by a team member, we can do that in our guidelines. I think it's as long as you ask before June 7th or June 9th, something like that. So the timeline in the guidelines that does say we're happy to provide any feedback, recognizing that we're sharing what we think we know and how the committees might review, but we don't know. So we can give you as much context as we can to help sort that out.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We do have lots of time still, so I'm just going to give a couple more moments if anybody has any other questions to put in the chat or to come off of mute. Right. Going once. Going twice. Okay, sold. Thank you very much. I appreciate that for everybody. Thank you for your time today. You have a little bit more of time back in your schedule. If you, again, please reach out to the grants team if you do have any questions. And good luck with those applications. We can't wait to read them. Take care.